Welcome to the Dream Journal. From the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz, the Dream Journal is a weekly show where we explore the power of nighttime dreams through conversations with dream experts, and we have a passel for you today, and with listeners like you, because yes, we will still be taking calls. So there's no those vital minutes. Time is keenly found. A dream can be meaningful, even if you don't know what it means. And my producer here, Rick Cleffel, who makes all this gorgeous music, would like to introduce today's music for you.
Today's piece is called Lilium, which is a multicolored flower, and it's in honor of our late beloved pug, Lily, who passed away so recently.
Aww.
Thank you.
Oh, so sorry about Lily. Thank you, Rick. We love this music that you create for us every week. You can find this music at pendemiad.com. You download full hour-long music files for your listening pleasure. So, today I am going to introduce to you 5 of the presenters to the Southern California Regional Conference, which is next weekend, March 1 in Whittier, California. I will be there next week there. And one of the presenters, well, I guess there'll be 6 presenters if you count me. So we are going to have on a whole list of folks, and I'm really excited to see how this works. We have them all lined up on Clean Feed, and I think it's going to be a pretty exciting show. All right, we have Geoff Nelson. Please say hi.
Hi, Catherine.
Excellent. Kelly Sullivan-Walden.
Present and accounted for. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Kelly. And then Marilyn Manzi.
Hi, Catherine.
Hey, so good to have you on the show.
You too.
And Walter Berry.
Greetings to you from here.
Interesting. Okay, very good. Thank you, Walter. And last but not least, we have Lauren Schneider.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi. Well, fabulous. We have a house full of dream experts. And the theme today is about the variety of ways to approach dreams. You know, there is no one hard and fast way. And it's not even Jungian versus Freudian. You know, one of the magic of dreams is that we each have our own relationship with our dreams. And when I first went to an IASD conference in, I think it was 2016 or 17, I was amazed that every single one of the hundreds of people there had their own relationship to the dreams, their own approach to dreams. And so we're going to talk about a small slice of the different ways to approach dreams. And so I have these various guests on who are going to talk about their particular approach to dreaming and maybe a little bit about their what they'll be doing at the Southern California Conference. Let me just give you the webpage for that conference, because if you're in Southern California or would like to be, next weekend, March 1st, will be in-person all-day conference at Whittier, California. And the way to find how to register and the full agenda is asdreams.org/regionals. And then just click on the SoCal regional image that you'll find there. So let's start out with conference host and dreamer himself as well, a powerful dreamer, Geoff Nelson. Geoff.
Morning.
Yeah, morning. Would you introduce yourself and tell about your approach?
Sure. I'm Reverend Geoff Nelson, a retired Presbyterian pastor, and I began keeping track of my dreams 50 years ago. I had my anniversary this last Thursday. On the 20th of February, I did my first dream entry, and I sort of celebrated that day. Huh. In the meantime, I've learned to use my dreams as a spiritual practice and taken training as a spiritual director. And I see dreams as another way for us as spiritual people of whatever persuasion to access the deeper roots of our spirituality. And I've also become a big fan of the IASD, which Catherine's talked about here. And I'm particularly pleased to see that we have 5 of our 6, including Catherine, of our presenters today. One of the things that happened with this conference is that we had a very well-known keynote speaker who had to drop out for family reasons. And we came up with the idea of presenting a panel of dream workers, which is, to me, a great representation of IASD. Catherine mentioned the way in which her first introduction to IASD found a variety of people who all had different approaches to dreams and dream work. And that's what we're going to be presenting at the conference. And Catherine's show is a little sneak preview of that this morning. Mm-hmm. So I'm really pleased to be a part of it. And thank you, Catherine, for promoting us.
Of course. Thank you so much for all the work that you do for this conference and for dreams in general. So that's Geoff Nelson. Do you have a webpage you want to mention?
I don't.
Okay. All right. I would like to turn the microphone over to Lauren Schneider. So glad to have you on the show, Lauren.
Oh, thanks, Catherine. Always lovely to be here with you.
Yeah.
So I work with dreams on a lot of different levels. I think dreams have multiplicity of intelligence. And so as I reflect on a dream with someone, we open up the personal side of it, the deep personal side, how it's connected to their waking life, and then also what the unconscious is telling about how they're evolving inside, which is even deeper than what our conscious self knows. And then I will also look at what's happening collectively, because we don't dream in a vacuum, and we're picking up, I like to call it the psychic internet. Mm-hmm. We're picking up everything that's going on around us. And I also then look at what's going on historically for the client, and what's the ancestral lineage coming up in this dream. And then in addition, I bring in my particular innovative method called therapy, which is tarot psychotherapy, and bring that in for further guidance on the dream. And it's amazing because there's a part of me that says, why would I need to bring in more images when dreams have so many images and so much intelligence to draw from? Right. But in fact, it really works. There's a synchronicity that lines up with the dream and brings in even the invisible world, so that there's a higher consciousness that's participating with us in both understanding the dream and giving dream allies that can help somebody with whatever they're dealing with. So one of the things that we're looking at in the conference that we're offering on March 1st is we're looking for the wisdom and the resilience that dreams can offer us to help navigate through these times of upheaval that we're experiencing.
Mm-hmm. 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 Right, and we're the conference site will be very close to the scene, or within maybe a dozen miles of the terrible LA fires that destroyed so many homes, and so the theme of wisdom and resilience is all the more important for us to explore right now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lauren. Lauren Schneider, would you like to give our listeners a webpage?
Sure. My website is dreamsandtherapy.com, and therapy is TAROTPY. I work with tarot, oracle cards, all kinds of images, just like a dream with your eyes open.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you.
So while we are talking about the LA fires, I'd like to introduce Kelly Sullivan Walden, who I know you had to endure an evacuation for several weeks, I believe, during the fires. And so sorry, but I'm glad you can be here with us today, Kelly.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And it's so great to be with all my esteemed colleagues. I'm really excited to get to be with you all in person. And yes, while I was evacuated, I happened to be in Whittier. I grew up in Whittier. My family still lives in Whittier. So there was something heartening about, and actually, strange blessing in disguise to get to spend such time with my family. And so I'm really looking forward to being there. I just wish that when I was growing up, I knew Geoff, Mr. Geoff Nelson, as I wish he had been my minister. When I was growing up, my life would have turned out very differently. But I'll be talking about dreamifesting, which is, it's kind of, I compare it to, I say there's manifesting, which is kind of the masculine aspect of making what you want happen in life. And there's the womanifesting, which is more passive, where you ask people for help and support. And then there's dreamifesting, which blends the best of that yang energy and the yin energy of the masculine and the feminine, but where you allow your dreams through an incubation, something that you do at night before you go to bed. I call it a dream cocoon, where you really connect with what you are wanting to create in your life and what's under that. I call that the soul goal. And when you focus on that right before bed and pay attention to your dream and do a little dream work in the morning, it tends to be an expediter toward dreamifesting the life that you desire. So dreams, I think, blend. Dream work is something that is mostly untapped in our culture. If it was up to all 6 of us, I think that wouldn't be the case. But like they say, there's never a crowd on the leading edge. But my mission, I think all of our mission, is to help awaken people to the power of dreams. And I think it's an immensely practical tool. I like to think of myself as a practical mystic. I'm definitely have my head in the clouds, but my feet are on the ground. And I think people want their lives to run more smoothly, to access that wisdom and resilience when they're facing problems or difficulties. And dreams give us all so much insight. One of the dreams I had during the fire, 2 dreams actually that I had during the fire, were a healing salve to my soul. And I still meditate on those dreams to give me peace and clarity. And I'll be sharing one of those at the conference. Maybe I'll share both. Who knows?
Yes.
But I will be there. Mostly, I think I'm kind of holding down the real earthy part of things, wanting people to come with a goal, come with some kind of an intention for what you want to improve in your life or what you want to break through in your life that's in your waking reality. And let's look at how the dreams that you've been having, one dream in particular, is adding some rocket fuel to help you to bring some results about in your waking life. And that's dreamifesting.
Thank you, Kelly. This is really looking forward to that. Oh, and what would you like to have as a webpage for folks to look you up?
Sure. So dreamifesting is a good way to find me. That's dream and then with an I in the middle. Festing. So dream, I say stick yourself in the middle. So it's you and your goals. I, right in the center of, so dream, festing.com. And that's, it's based on a book that I have coming out this September on St. Martin's Essentials. So I'm really excited about that. It's been something I've been dreaming on for a long time, and my dreams have helped me connect with this beautiful publisher to bring this out into the world. And so this will be the first public talk that I'll be doing specifically about dreamifesting.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so we'll have to have you come back to help you get the word out about that book. That sounds exciting.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine. I know you've got a book coming out soon, too.
Well, it's in process. It's still in the editing phase, as I like to say, but thank you.
Okay.
It will be coming along, I'm sure.
Okay, well, I have to have you on my show as well. I'm very excited and very proud of you. The fire that you lived through makes my fire experience look like Disneyland. You really have quite a powerful story.
Yeah.
I hope there's a place where you will share it at the conference at some point.
What a beautiful idea. I had not considered that. Yes, indeed. And just to say that Rick Kleffel, who you heard earlier talking about the passage of his beloved pug, is our regular engineer, and he is the one who hosted me during my evacuations. I had my camper van parked in his driveway during the evacuations.
Is that wow, Rick and Lily?
Yeah, Lily.
Prayers to beautiful Lily. I know how much we love and bond with our little puppies, our dogs, and cats.
And cats, all of those. Thank you so much, Kelly. So we will come back around to you. I have 2 more guests to introduce. Thank you, Kelly. All right. I'd like to next say hi to Marilyn Manzi. You're from the Bay Area, and you're heading down to the SoCal conference next weekend. And you have also been on the show. In fact, all of these guests have been on the show already and will certainly come back. So Marilyn Manzi, how would you describe the approach that you do with dreaming?
Hi, Catherine. So
Hi.
good to be with you again. This time I'm in the city, so it might be a little louder. Hopefully it's quiet through the microphone I have.
No, it sounds great.
It does, good. So where do I begin? I was living in Portland. I actually went through the fires there. There were the riots and obviously the pandemic that we all went through. And at that time, I was working in my private practice. I still am. And I was trying to figure out a way to work with the trauma that was coming up, not only with the people I was working with, but also in myself, the secondary trauma. And so through that time, I just went to my dreams for medicine. I said, show me how to take care of my body. What do I need to eat? How do I get good rest? And what I drew from that over all that work with trauma is that I wanted to show people how to connect with pleasure in their dreams, to give that sense of awe and create that pattern of resiliency. So as life happens, less traumatic than what I just described, there's a pregnancy, you go into menopause, or you lose a dog, things like this. There's a resiliency in our dreams that can be medicinal and can help us go along life and not get thrown off too much. And if we have a nightmare, for example, hopefully it doesn't stay with us as long as it did before. So there's different methods that I bring in through this workshop. In addition, I wanted to bring in something a little bit more creative and fun. And so I was waiting for some inspiration from a myth, and Psyche and Eros came through. And Eros and Psyche, there's a part of the myth that has to do with pleasure. And Psyche actually becomes pregnant with pleasure. So I incorporate that myth so people will be looking at that myth, but also curating it to their own. And there's other additional parts of the workshop I won't get into now, but that's just a short and sweet version.
Beautiful. Thank you. And do you have a web page that you'd like to let folks know so they can get in touch with you if they'd like to?
Sure. Dream Somatics.
Okay.
And SOMATIX.com.
TIX. Okay. Dreamsomatics.com. Thank you so much, Marilyn.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And then last but not least, well, I guess I could say myself will be last but not least, but first I'd like to introduce our fifth guest, which is Walter Berry. Walter, so much for being on the show that you are also very deeply involved in the conference. I think I could consider you co-chair. Is that right?
Not really, but Geoff is holding it all, but I'm in the background somewhere, yeah.
Okay. So what perspective do you bring to dreaming?
Well, my thing is about the visual. Dreams come basically in a visual form. And my thing is to have, it sounds strange maybe, but I have people draw their dreams. People resist that because they go, I can't draw. I go, well, just draw stick figures or whatever. But I have people draw their dreams, just some sort of image or lines or colors or something. And what happens is that it's an amazing, magical thing that happens because it does a couple things. It centers, it anchors the dream. While we're working with the dream, even if it's in a group or just individually, we're looking at the picture. And the picture, because dreams come, has these strange metaphors. It's Superman flying with me, or it's whatever. It's a pterodactyl who's, on a toilet. It's all these crazy images, And if we even draw them, it's kind of, I don't know how you would draw a pterodactyl on a toilet. But in any case.
Stick figures, Walter, stick figures.
Yeah, that's right. Just a little stick figure with a big long nose or something. Yeah. Anyway, but what it does is it anchors, and we sit there while we're doing the dream work, which we do it like many of the other people here. We do the same sort of thing, but it keeps it focused on the visual piece of it. And what it does is then it, in a sense, this will sound crazy, but the dream comes alive. It comes alive in that picture. As we talk and we think and we do the stuff, it actually comes alive. And there's a sense of awe that is present when we're doing that. And it's about mystery because, a pterodactyl on a toilet, what is that about, Mm-hmm. That it has to do, of course, with the person's life, their work, whatever it is that comes. It's just an amazing connection that we have with the dream. It's trying to talk to us about something. It comes originally in a visual form. And here we are, with a chance to see, in a sense, the dream come alive in front of our eyes. And it becomes actually a passage between us and the unconscious and the dream world. Does that make any sense? Do you know what I mean? It's like there's a way that the visual anchors and opens up this door into our inner soul. And it's just amazing what happens when people do it. There's also times when people draw dreams and they don't realize what they've drawn. It's like the unconscious itself draws things, you know.
Right.
Things that,
the ways things
that sort of,
that don't come out the way I wanted them to. That's always very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Why is I drew my sister 6 times bigger than me? Oh, gee, I wonder what that's about.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, right. Finding out what that and why does that person look sad? Like, oh my goodness, I guess I feel sad.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So, Walter, what is a webpage that folks can take with them?
It's the title of my book, Drawn Into the Dream.com. It's all one word, Drawn Into the Dream.com.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much, Walter. So, and I will introduce myself. I'm Catherine Bell, and I'll be talking about dreams as a treasure hunt, like Marilyn was talking about, looking for pleasure in dreams. Like I like to think of them as treasures, and looking for those moments of love and connection because they're in there, and often we just go skidding past them on the way to our next trauma, and yet they are there, and so we can really look for them. And the more advanced level of that is where you start to recognize that those moments of trauma, even the most painful dreams we have, that those are also gifts. Those are also treasures that we can see that there is something valuable opening up in us. And so even if something painful is happening in a dream, can recognize that that is also valuable. And so it's a kind of a ladder thing where you start looking for the good things, because a lot of people don't like looking at their dreams because they're so weird and upsetting. And yet, there are good, beautiful moments there. And, over time, as you start to trust your dreams, you start to learn to trust yourself, then you can start to recognize that even those really difficult dreams are just as valuable. They're just as much treasures as the peaceful and beautiful dreams that you might have. So I will be leading a workshop about that, giving some practice of how to look for that. And I'll talk about dream allies and looking for helpful figures in dreams and how they can help us let in the good feelings and also make sense of the really difficult moments. Because one thing of this book that I'm working on that Kelly mentioned is I talk exclusively about my own dreams. I have over 100 of my own dreams in there, and so many of them are nightmares. I actually have lots of nightmares. It's just a regular thing for me. But I've recognized, they come in waves, and I can sometimes connect various sections to something in waking life. But I've learned to see the value in them. So even if I wake up going, ugh, bleh, and yet there's something opening, and I've bit by bit learned to recognize the treasure in that. I think my book should come with a trigger warning, is what I'm realizing. But I won't be bringing you those horrible nightmares to the workshop, but just to let you know that people have nightmares. It's just some part of what dreams do, and somehow that's valuable, and I've come to trust that over time. So Dreams of the Treasure Hunt. And my webpage is experientialdreamwork.com. It's the name of the business I've started, and you can get to me through the podcast as well. But experientialdreamwork.com is the best way to get in touch with me. Well, congratulations to all of us. We did a fabulous job of introducing ourselves. And I think we have a huge range of topics here that we have. We have spirituality, we have the tarot, we have the dream manifesting, we have finding pleasure in dreams, we have drawing dreams, we have the treasure hunt of dreams. And this is just the tip of the iceberg of the different ways there are to work with dreams. And so we have just a few minutes before we go to our break. And I wonder if anybody has something rising up in them that they feel urgently. I'm going to take a risk and to say who, rather than calling on someone specifically. Is there somebody who has something that they'd like to add? Yes.
Yeah, Catherine, I'd like to add to what you were talking about with nightmares.
Lauren, thank you.
Because I so agree with you. I look at nightmares as a wake-up call for healing. That one of the things about nightmares is they often motivate us to share and to ask for help. So when I think about it as a wake-up call for healing, I think about nightmares also being something that connects us with others and allows us to talk about our dreams. The other thing is what I noticed, particularly during the pandemic, people were focused a lot on anxiety dreams, but if you look carefully at a dream, even an anxiety dream, there will be medicine in it, as you were talking about a treasure. So I remember one of the COVID dreams that somebody shared with me where they were in a bathroom and couldn't touch anything because it was covered with crap. And we all remember that, not being able to touch things, not knowing what spread the disease. But as she looked in under the sink in the bathroom, there were caterpillars and butterflies emerging. And so she understood that something transformational was going to emerge even out of this crisis. And that's always true, I think, in any nightmare or any repetitive dream, that if we look carefully at them, there's always going to be a shift because the nightmare is doing the healing for us.
Beautifully said, Lauren. Thank you.
I'd like to add something too, Catherine.
Sure, Geoff, go ahead.
One of the things that we're offering, one of our presenters, Victoria Rabineau, who's not here, is offering a dream journaling process. And most of us encourage dream journaling. And I want to emphasize the fact that we're not only talking about dreams, but we're offering people tools to begin to do their own dream work, to use their own dreams in their own lives. And that, to me, that's been one of the gifts of IASD, is the variety of ways in which people can not only learn about dreams and hear the dreams of others, but learn new ways to work with their own dreams to provide healing and support and strength for them. And that's going to be a part of our conference too.
Absolutely. You'll have a chance to explore your own dreams in the moment, yes, with these dreams excerpts, but also take away many tools that you can use to work with your own dreams. And so
Catherine,
yes.
Is there any space left?
Sure, Kelly, go ahead.
For the commercial?
Go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to weigh in on the nightmare thing because I've sometimes been called the nightmare whisperer because I have such reverence for nightmares. And when people share nightmares with me, I get so sparkly eyed. I'm like, oh, wow. Like I just know that there's gold in them, there hills. I think of doing work with nightmares as alchemy because for you, somebody who is as bright and light as you, I think you may be, I don't know, if it's my dream, it's doing the work on, our own soul, my own soul, but it's also on the soul of the world. So I think it's an honor, and it's just once we understand it and have a proper frame for nightmares, then they stop being so, they don't haunt us during the day. We can turn and face them. I always say to practice the fear formula, which is to face, embrace, ace, and replace those things that terrify us. And that's something that I'm sure we'll get. I mean, that talk about resilience. We can learn and earn resilience through working with our nightmares. I think it's a really important topic. As well as the pleasure. I love that Marilyn's bringing in getting pregnant with pleasure. I think that's awesome. We need that too, equal measure.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that so much. Okay, and we're about to go to break. I just want to say the names of the other folks who will be presenting. I've already heard Victoria Rabineau, so she will also be one of the presenters. David Jenkins from the Bay Area again, and Roger Martinez about telepathic dreams, and Jane Carlton, another Bay Area dream wizard about dreams and gems. And I think that's everybody. So it's going to be a full day, March 1st. And this is the Southern California IASD Regional Conference. And you can find out about the conference at asdreams.org/regionals. And I hope to see you there. I mean, we'll all have these amazing workshops. So you get to pick and choose. You'll hear us all working with one dream. And I think it's just a great way to network and really to jumpstart your dream life. If you're interested in dreams, and it's all in person, like we spend our lives on Zoom, but this is all in person, so you really get that juicy in-person connection with everybody. So this is great. I want to let you know that we are broadcast live from the KSQD studios in Santa Cruz and co-broadcast live in San Jose by KCXU. We will be right back. So you're listening to The Dream Journal. My name is Catherine Bell, and that's my name. My name is what do I usually say here? Okay. I'd like to send out, it's a good thing I have notes. Here, check my notes. I'd like to send out a special welcome to our far-flung listeners. We have a passel of folks on the air listening, as well as in the studio and remotely by clean feed. We got La Quinta, California, Olympia, Washington, Honolulu, Hawaii, and Ashburn, Virginia. So great to have you here. And I want to say that if you'd like to help spread interest in dreaming, please follow the Dream Journal on your favorite podcast app. That helps it bump it up in other people's feeds. If you are inspired, please leave a rating or a review. But really the most important thing from my perspective is to tell your friends. Let's really move the needle on our collective appreciation for dreams. And just by telling folks that you're listening to a podcast about dreaming, you might find out that they're interested in dreaming too, and maybe you never knew. So talk to your friends. You're also welcome to contact me if you'd like to be a guest on the show to talk about a new book or to let folks know about your dream-related offerings. Always looking to promote my dream colleagues. So you can go to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And I will be posting information about upcoming shows and pod drops. You can follow hashtag The Dream Journal and at Experiential Dreamwork. So as I've been talking about, let me wait on that for a second. So on Monday, I want to let you guys know that I will be interviewing dream goddess extraordinary Tokopah Turner, who I've been wanting to get on the show for a while. She's unable to come to a regular live show, so I'm going to interview her on Monday. And if all goes well, I will be able to release that interview next week while I'm down at the conference. I'll leave you with a special treat, an interview with Tokopah Turner. As you know, I always do live shows. I've only once done a pre-recorded show, and it was over 5 years ago. So we'll have to see how the editing process goes. But I'm hoping to release Tokopah Turner's show for you guys next week. Otherwise, I'll pick a replay. And I realize I would love to hear from listeners. What are some of your favorite shows? What shows do you think I should replay? Because I always check the numbers to see what's popular or what's most interesting to me. But what about you? What is most interesting to you? Send me a message on social media or on my webpage, experientialdreamwork.com, and let me know what some of your favorite shows have been. So our guests today, we are talking about the SoCal Regional, and I'm going to give you that webpage to register and find out about the agenda. That is asdreams.org/regionals. And you can click on the link there for the SoCal Regional and find out more details. So our guests today are Geoff Nelson, Lauren Schneider, Kelly Sullivan-Walden, Marilyn Manzi, Walter Berry, and I am Catherine Bell. And we already have a caller on the phone. So hello, it looks like Kyle and Emily from El Sobrante. So glad to have you calling in. Kyle and Emily, hello.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, everybody. It's so good to be here.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, everyone.
Great. Good to have you both on the air. What would you like to contribute?
We're just kind of calling to be really talk about how excited we are for the conference. A handful of people on this call. I feel like we met. I don't know, over the past year or so.
Yeah, at Worldac, and then a little bit more since then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Emily and I. And we actually met at the most recent IASD conference, but this is our first regional, so I didn't really know what to expect.
Okay.
We're really excited. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like there's going to be, it's like the same amount of interesting things going on as the main one, so we're really excited about that.
Right. So what is it that inspired you to decide to go down? You're from the Bay Area, is that right? El Sobrante, I think that's Bay Area, right?
Yes, yeah, up in the East Bay.
Okay. So what, you're going to make the drive or fly down? What's inspired you to make the trek?
Yeah, going to fly, and it should be easy flight. But, we both, Emily and I have both been doing DreamWork for a long time, but relatively recently got into the community of IASD. And I think that community aspect that you mentioned just before the break, like getting to know people in person instead of on a screen, that was like really life-changing for me, my first IASD. So I feel like I'm getting to know people a little bit better, but to have more of that sort of local community and meet people and see people in person, do the dream work in person was really exciting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the global ISDs are of course fantastic, and last year was just my first one. But these smaller local regional ones, I think, have more opportunities for, really having those deeper conversations. The smaller groups going a bit more in depth. And this agenda next week looks amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Fabulous. Well, that's fabulous. And I also want to let you guys know, I think you've already contacted me, that we are doing a Santa Cruz regional in October. And it's going to be at the Museum of Art and History, October 10th through 12th. And so that you won't have to fly anywhere for that. But of course, some of you SoCal folks might want to fly up and come to our conference, because I think it's going to be just as much fun. And yeah, so what else? Anything else you guys want to, any questions for our panelists, if you like?
Yeah, I guess we've got like everybody that we're going to be seeing there on the phone right now. It's really exciting. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
I guess I was curious. It's a really broad and eclectic agenda. It looks fantastic.
Yep.
I was curious in how you pulled this agenda together. How do you decide what to include? Of course, you can't include everything in just one day. Yeah, what was the thinking behind that?
Oh, good question. That's probably a question for Geoff, right, Geoff Nelson?
Yeah, I think I spoke to that a little bit, in that we had originally picked a very well-known IASD former president and so forth to be our keynote speaker, and then he had to drop out. And one of the things I've enjoyed about the group of people that are working on this is their creativity, their wisdom, and their resilience. When we've been challenged by various things, and this has been a particularly challenging regional to plan, the group has responded very creatively, and particularly instead of having a keynote speaker, we're going to be having an expanded panel, just like you've done here today, where everybody works on the same dream. So we'll get one dream, but we'll get 6 different perspectives on dreaming, on how to work with the dream, and so forth. And it's very exciting, and that's how it has come about. That's how the.
But what about all the different workshops as well? Because there's a number of people that are giving workshops, and how did you decide that who was going to be there?
Well, we had almost all the presenters gathered together before our keynote speaker dropped out, and then we decided, well, let's do. We called it an expanded elevator speech, so that in the very beginning of the day, you'll get to see 6 of our 9 presenters presenting their way of working with dreams. And so if you want to find out more about 1 or 2 or 3 of them, you go to their workshops. So it's very nicely tied together in that way.
I like that idea of doing the introductory thing. We have another 15 minutes on the show, and I've been debating at what to do at this point. I wonder if we want to do a little mini dream panel. I wonder if Kyle or Emily, if either of you have a short dream that you'd be willing to share, that you would enjoy sharing, put it that way. And then we can just have each person just take a minute to comment on the dream. How would that be? Would that be
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. So I had a dream this morning that I woke up with. It wasn't like ground-shaking, earth-shattering dream. It was kind of a little mundane, but I feel like the most recent dream is always a good place to start.
Yep. I agree. Does that sound good? Okay. Or Emily, do you have a more urgent one that you want to put forward?
No, I liked yours this morning.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a good one.
Okay, Kyle. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. So I'm working at some sort of maybe advertising company or something. Someone shows up for an interview, and they apologize because they had to leave leave the interview process before or something like that. When I first talked to him, I had just started out back in this industry after a long time being gone. I was kind of very uncertain, and Now that I'm talking to him later, I'm very confident, and I kind of feel like I have things under control. I have a lot to say about what's going on in this business, and kind of people are gathering around to look at this this work that we've been doing together. I'm really excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So there's an interview, and I feel like things are under control. So that's good. I love it that it's just kind of this really simple moment. And so, good. Anything you want to say about that before we jump in?
Yeah, and I guess the first, if maybe just like any context that comes to mind, maybe because we're talking about dream stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think the context is so important.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's just this presumably is a thing about work, but like this advertising thing, maybe, but also, Emily and I are really kind of like diving into a new big project with work together on dreamwork, on doing dream analytics on large-scale dream processing, of like pulling out insights from very large data sets of dreams. We have a group called the Center for Organizational Dreaming, codreaming.org. You can check it out. So we're just kind of launching some of this work that we're doing there, and I think this is like a big, for me, like coming out or coming back to trying to do something formal with doing this sort of dream psychology type work. So that's the context.
Okay, great. So is anybody who of our panel who is we have just to say we do have another caller called in, but let's spend a few minutes. Let's maybe just take a couple ahas from our panel of folks, and then we'll go to the second call. So who's got an aha jumping out at them?
I hear
go ahead. Go ahead, Lauren.
With Lauren and then Kelly.
A really nice affirmation of the project that you're moving into, evolving, because at first there's little confidence, and then there's confidence in interviewing someone. And as we're sitting on a podcast, it makes me think about you interviewing people about their dreams. So it sounds like there's much confidence in doing this project. We're going to connect to a lot of different people. And then the other thought that I had is that this person that you're interviewing has another life experience that you could find out about. And I would wonder what strengths and experiences that person has to offer you.
Interesting. Okay, thank you, Lauren. Kelly, go ahead.
So if it were my dream, I'd think this is kind of the poster child dream for dreamifesting. Because I imagine this new company, this new business, this new venture, it's not fully formed yet. So it's still, I'm very pregnant with it and I'm excited about it. And yet there's uncertainty because there is with any new project, we don't know exactly how it's going to go, but thinking about it before going to sleep. Cause I know for me, when there's a new project, it's kind of all over me, and I take it into dreaming, and it's literally helping me to work it out. It's about work, sleep working, but it feels very, very specific. And like what Lauren said, it feels very affirmative, going from a little bit of trepidation and apologizing, having to leave the interview and uncertain. And then all of a sudden it switched everything, so maybe you can clarify, Kyle, but there was something that switched from the uncertainty, the leaving, having to leave the interview, and then all of a sudden coming back in and feeling like, yeah, this feels good. I'm confident. Not only confident, but I'm excited. So it feels like all bodes well. But what was that middle piece that was the kind of turned the dial?
Yeah, I think it was really just time. It was like, at the beginning, the first interview, or the person that I was interviewing had to leave this interview process. I just hadn't had a lot of, experience yet, or, I was just really feeling just not really situated. So really just time passed. And it was kind of like, you meet somebody, or you see somebody in one stage of life, and then you meet them again, and things are completely shifted just over time by the experience accumulating. That's all it was.
Oh, I love that. I love how in dreams, dreams don't respect the ordinary time frame of our ordinary human reality. So you could go from, very early on in the process to time passing like a time lapse lens, and bam, all the way to, yeah, let's rock. So this dream feels like an expediter to me. And I wonder what new steps. I always think every remembered dream requires some kind of, or it's asking for some kind of action. And I wonder what action you'll take specifically coming out of this dream, if anything.
While you're thinking about that, Kyle, what my thoughts are, I would love to continue the dream in a sense, like if I was going to make something up, what happens next? That might be also in line with Kelly's idea. What happens next in the dream if if I made something up just out of my head? What happens at the end of the dream that changes things?
So yeah, if I'm kind of like closing my eyes and getting back into it, I'm this person that I'm interviewing is still there, but we're gathered with some others. We're looking at some, something, a screen or something, and I feel like this sort of thing where I can, like I feel good about this other person that presumably would be working with us, and I feel like maybe that's the next thing. I'm like wanting to bring this person on board, like bring them into the fold, and like to get a new collaborator. So it feels like this collaborative element is really important.
And in a Gestalt kind of way, that is also me that I'm interviewing. So this sounds like a very positive thing, like you thought. It feels like a very forward-moving dream to me. Great stuff.
Thank you. So thank you, Kyle. Thank you for sharing your dream. And I know we didn't get to Marilyn, but maybe you can comment on we have another caller. I'd like to switch to the other caller. So Kyle and Emily, thank you so much for calling in, and I'm looking forward to meeting you down in Whittier.
Yes, thank you so much. See you next week.
Okay. Bye now. So Ellen from SoCal, say hello.
Hello, Catherine.
Hi, Ellen. Thanks for calling in. What do we have? What do you have for us today?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for taking my call. I tuned in a little bit late, and I'm wondering what the IAS stand for in the isdream.org.
Sure. IASD is the International Association for the Study of Dreams, and it's the world's premier dream organization with people in all kinds of approaches to dreams, from academic, psychological, clinical, artistic, personal, and there's just a huge range of ways of approach to dreams. And we have yearly conferences and these regional events. There's the one in Southern California we're talking about, which is next week, and then in October we'll have one here in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, trust me, I'm super excited that there's going to be one right here at the Ma.
Yes, yes.
So it'll be similar. There'll just be people from all over that are like quote unquote dream experts.
Dream experts, and mostly from the California area, because the regionals are trying to get people from the regional together. But when we did this in 2019 up here in California, we actually had a presenter fly in from Brazil. I was like, wow. So we've had people from many different places. I think we have one person from Hawaii who will be joining us in October. And so they're not always totally local, but it is just most of the attendees will be local dreamers. So it's a way to get to meet people. And, I've meet people like, oh, I didn't know you were interested in dreaming, but now you're at the conference. And so we have this in common. And so it really gets people together talking about their dreams, which is super important. And
I'm not looking on my calendar, but I'm just assuming is that a Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
It is, absolutely. It's Friday evening, all day Saturday and Sunday. And then next week's conference is the one day on Saturday, all day Saturday, March 1st.
And, because, of course, it's way easier for me to just wait till the one in October. And
Right. Well, that's fine.
So when can you sign up for it now?
No, not yet. We're still in the planning stages, but mark your calendar and stay tuned. And if you're not on my email list, I just sent out a mass mailing. So if you didn't get something from me in the last few weeks, then send me an email. I will add you to my list to keep you informed. Just to say, my email is Catherine@ksqd.org, KATHERINE@ksqd.org. And this applies to any listener. If you haven't recently got a blast from me, like in the last few weeks, then send me your email and I'll make sure you're on the list for the future. It's Catherine@ksqd.org. So thanks for calling, Ellen.
Yeah. Do you have a moment? Can I saw you like a week ago. And
yes, well, on the dance floor. Yes, we're fellow music enthusiasts. Yes.
And I mentioned to you that just the night before I had like such an exciting dream. Or scenes in a dream. Can I mention those to
Well, we have you can. Why don't you mention like a highlight, and then we'll just percolate on it. And
yes, it is only a highlight.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead then, Ellen.
Yeah,
and maybe Marilyn can comment then, since we haven't heard from her in a while.
It's just in a nutshell. Let your folks know about 2.5 years ago, I had a complete knee replacement, and I never regained my range of motion, and I could tell it wasn't just scar tissue. And the surgeon also did more imaging and said, okay, and I had I went under the knife again. I had a whole second surgery to quote unquote fix the problem, and nothing changed.
Oh gosh.
And so I had this dream a week ago, right before I saw Catherine. I think it was Friday night or Saturday. And in that dream, I was so excited. I was like jumping up and down. My leg bent, and I was squatting, and I was so happy and joyful. And that was one scene in the dream, and I don't remember. Something happened, so in the dream, it went away, the ability to bend it, and then it came back again, and I felt like I'd learned something that made it come back again, and I was just so thrilled. I was like, oh my God.
And how's your knee been since then?
Like that, and still have a knee that doesn't bend is a little frustrating. But I'm also wondering, like, is that telling me, it's just a matter of we got to figure something out, and it can happen again, or I don't know. That's just I just wanted to share.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And the more you share it, the more that's going to sink in, I'm sure. And Marilyn, would you have any quick comments for Ellen?
Sure. How much time do I have?
About 30 seconds.
Okay. So, Ellen, thank you so much for sharing that vulnerable information. To me, I would wonder about what it's like to live with your knee and the attitude that's being presented in the dream to work with. There's a flexibility psychologically that I think could be worked with in that dream. So I would expand on that. It's like, how do I adapt to my knee? How do I have an attitude? It sounds like you were at the dance floor where you ran into Catherine. So it sounds like you know how to be with your movement still in some way, or just be part of the rhythm. And maybe the dream is showing you some way to be flexible to that in waking life as well. So I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. Lovely. Marilyn.
I like that.
Oh, wonderful. So thank you so much, Ellen. We'll see you on the floor again soon. A dance floor, that is. And everybody, thank you so much for being on the show. Lauren Schneider, Marilyn Manzi, Walter Berry, Geoff Nelson, Kelly Sullivan-Walden, and me, Catherine Bell. And maybe we'll see some of you at the conference on Saturday, and hopefully I'll have that Tocopod Turner interview for you next week. If not, I'll have some other fabulous replay next Saturday, because I will be giving a workshop down there in Whittier. So thanks. You go ahead. Everybody can just say goodbye. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us,
Bye-bye.
Catherine.
Yay.
This was so fun. Thank you. Dream on, everybody.
All right. Keep dreaming. Woohoo.
Sweet dreams.
Okay. Thank you all. So thank you so much for listening to the Dream Journal. We are produced at the studios of KSQD in Santa Cruz, and we are live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific at ksqd.org. The podcast is released on the Monday after the show. It spreads interest in dreaming when you subscribe, rate, and review. My name is Catherine Bell. You can find out about my dream coaching practice at experientialdreamwork.com. Email me at catherine@ksqd.org. That's KATHERINE at ksqd.org. Follow Experiential Dreamwork and hashtag The Dream Journal on Facebook and Instagram to find out about upcoming shows. I'd like to thank Rick Kleffel, engineer and music creator. Audio editing by Suki Wessling. Phones by Tony Risamano. Intro and outro pieces are both by Mood Science. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, take a minute to write down your dream and bring it to the next Dream Journal.
Where you've come from is gone. You're going, never existed. Where